This is the Q9U from Samson. It's an XLR/USB broadcast dynamic microphone. Samson claims, in their words, that this is the right mic for any setup, ideal for a one-person show or building a multi-host production studio. So to paraphrase, I believe that they're trying to say that this would be great for your podcast or online content creation. Personally, I've used the Samson Q9U for many years now, and I absolutely love that mic, and I'm really excited to review this microphone, and I can't wait to see how it stacks up. Quick disclaimer, Samson did send me this microphone for free, and in return, they just want to know my opinion of the mic. I'm not obligated to say anything in particular, nor am I affiliated with Samson, and this is a fair and honest review. All opinions expressed in this video are mine and mine alone. But here inside the box, we get another box. And in that box we get paperwork. And here's a USB-C cable, which seems to be of pretty good quality. And eyeballing it, it's about 8 feet long without getting out my tape measure. This mic does not include an XLR cable, which is a bit disappointing. Here's the microphone with a giant windscreen, and I gotta say, this is a beefy boy. It's got some real weight to it. It's also got a really well-built yoke mount, and I can't say enough just how solid this thing feels. Down here on the bottom we have the mid-boost switch, opposite a low-cut switch, and here's a USB-C output, and here's the headphone output jack for USB mode, and finally we have the XLR output, and over here we have a mute button, which feels very solidly constructed. I absolutely love the appearance of the microphone, and in my opinion, it's one of the best looking microphones on the market. And let's face it, in a world where more and more people are creating video content, appearances do matter. The microphone cap can be removed via 3 Phillips head screws to reveal the build quality inside. And honestly, I'm not an audio engineer, nor am I a microphone expert, so none of this means anything to me. And as far as audio quality, you've been listening to it this entire time, with all of this audio being unfiltered and unprocessed. So what you hear is what you get. Up to this point, I've been recording everything with the mid-boost turned off, and I've also been recording everything with the low-cut filter turned off as well. I'm switching the mid-boost on now, and this is what the Samson Q9U sounds like with the mid-boost turned on. Also, I'm going to switch on the low-cut filter. And now I'm turning on the low-cut filter. And this is what the Samson Q9U sounds like with both the mid filter turned on and the low-cut turned on. I'm going back to turning the low-cut filter off, but from this point on, I'm going to be leaving the mid-boost on for the rest of the review. Here's a plosive test without the included pop filter. Peter Piper picked a peck of pickled peppers. Peter Piper picked a peck of pickled peppers. Peter Piper picked a peck of pickled peppers. And here's a plosive test with the included pop filter. Peter Piper picked a peck of pickled peppers. Peter Piper picked a peck of pickled peppers. Peter Piper picked a peck of pickled peppers. And here's a sibilance test. Sally shares a sack of sugary snacks with a syndicate of 7 sneaky squirrels. Sally shares a sack of sugary snacks with a syndicate of 7 sneaky squirrels. Up to this point, I've been keeping my mouth fairly close to the microphone, about 3 to 4 inches away. Normally at this point, I would do some distance tests where I would move several feet away and further to see what the microphone sounds like. But as we are about to hear, when things move further away, things really start to drop off and the audio gets pretty quiet. This microphone is designed for you to be fairly close to it. This is what the Samson Q9U sounds like at about a foot away from my mouth. And this is what the Samson Q9U sounds like at about 2 feet away from my mouth. Here is a handling test, which I would say is probably the weakest point of this microphone. This is what it sounds like as I talk and type with the keyboard directly under the microphone, about 8 inches or so away from the microphone. As for an additional test, here I'm using a Clark Technic audio booster to add 20 decibels of clean gain to this microphone. Up to this point, I've had my Scarlett 2i2 with the volume knob at 3 o'clock. With the Clark Technic audio booster, I'm able to drop the audio input down to 9 o'clock. Up to this point in the video, I've been recording all of my audio tests with this microphone using the XLR cable. Right now I've switched over to the USB cable, so this is what the Samson Q9U is going to sound like in USB mode. Microphone test 1 2 3, mic test 1 2 3 4. Peter Piper picked a peck of pickled peppers. Peter Piper picked a peck of pickled peppers. And for a comparison test, this is what the Samson Q2U is going to sound like in comparison to the Q9U. I've got the microphone about an equal distance away from my mouth, and no post-processing or filters have been applied to this microphone. So now as I record my final opinion of this microphone, I'm recording this in OBS with some filters applied. I'm using a noise suppression filter, compressor, and limiter, and I think it greatly benefits this mic to have those filters turned on. It does help to deaden some of the noise handling, and it also helps to take some harshness out of the plosives. And to wrap up, in my opinion, I really do love this mic. For me, this has been the upgrade to the Q2U that I've wanted for years. It's not 100% perfect though, and I think that the handling noise is a bit high, but I've always run a noise filter in OBS, which seems to deaden the desk thumps and bumps and things like that. I'm really surprised and disappointed that the mic doesn't include an XLR cable, so if you're planning on using the mic, you may want to budget extra for that. Even with these shortcomings, at the current price on this mic, coming in at around $120, I believe that this microphone is an absolute steal. It also has the main feature for which I've always recommended buying the Q2U, and that is the inclusion of both USB and XLR capabilities. You can always start out using the mic in USB mode and upgrade to XLR when you buy a mixer or audio interface in the future. It's tech that grows with you, and I love that. But as with all videos that I make, I hope that I've given you enough information to come to your own conclusion whether or not this microphone is a good purchase for you. Thank you for watching. That's it for now, and I'll see you next time.